because I hear what you said. I didn't say.
Finish, brother.
I don't agree with. Because when you say conceptions that come from the cultures, nobody's ever said that. I've never heard. Okay, we say Anunnaki, right? The original story behind the Anunnaki is Enki, Enlil, Anu. I've never in my life heard a Nuwapian check themselves and say, damn, if the XY chromosome is an XX chromosome minus 2.8% of his own genetic mass, then that means the man would have had to came from the woman. So how did 3 extraterrestrial men come down here and manufacture a race of women? I've never heard them say that. So when I say I've already went in there and checked and tweaked the Nuwapian teachings or any other organization who use that teaching, that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying with me is I've already exposed any organization I went into. I've already exposed the truth within the lie. I went into Egyptology, found out Medu Ntr was bullshit. Went into Dr.
This is what I would debate. I wanted to debate that you are making up the parts of the stories that's most befitting to your approximations. That's the most positive word I can use. As opposed to accrediting the original cultures for even giving rise to the thesis in the first place. Because a lot of what you're saying comes from the original cultures, and you're saying you're tweaking it, and then you're undermining those original cultures, saying I don't agree with the original people who came up with these terminologies, nor do I agree with the other people that came after those terminologies that incorporated. But you're the one doing all the tweaking and making everything correct. It's the very thing white folks do to us when we create hip hop. Then next thing you know, it's gonna look like they did it. We create rock and roll, then they don't agree with it, then they create it. So I'm saying, what is the difference between what you're doing? Because you're talking about doing all the correcting, but you have a point of reference from where you're getting the information from. So your corrections is coming from the people that's making the assertions that came and was crafted out of the original peoples. So why can't we just stand on what the original people said?
But now,
hold on real quick, because when you're talking about 3,600 years, and you're talking about Nibiru, then you're going to want to, in those stories, you have ants, you have shars, you have epochs, you have the precession of the equinox. You have so many different time periods that they associate with Nibiru, that when you start talking that 3,600 years, and you're likely to wind up talking about 25,920 years, you're likely to start talking about a whole bunch of different time frames, 2,160 years, land 1 degree per 70 years with the sun. You're going to wind up saying a whole bunch of things that ancient cultures already laid down, that I'm very familiar with. And you didn't tweak nothing when you present that to us. It's already been presented by our ancestors.
Okay, hold on. Now let me jump in there. So are you telling me that our ancestors said that they came from 3 men?
I'm saying that you probably misread those.
No, I didn't.
Hold on. I'm going to explain something to you. The story you telling me about Anu, Enki, and Lil, you're not bringing in Atum and Lilith into the equation, which were the women that were part of those scenarios where one child is a half son and the other child is full breed, and how they had to mate with a draconian princess to establish kind of like a genetic contract in order for them to give to nullify any war that may take place amongst them and the reptilians. I read those stories, bro. So I don't know why you're telling this story. I ain't never heard that story you're talking about, and you accredited it to them. I never heard no 3 men, as you keep saying, with sound of race.
Okay, hold on. So you never heard, and I understand what you just said. So you mean to tell me you never heard the Nuwapians or Malachi Zior say that?
Definitely not Nuwapians, because I came out of that school, so I understand what they teach, and they ain't never teach that story that way. And I studied the time, and I see what's happening. And I can compare and contrast what Dr. York taught versus what's in the tablets, and neither one of those 2 stories, his name is Enki, and I'm pretty sure he can attest. I can say,
why don't we just put this in the debate? That Pharaoh is on record saying that Dr. York said that we all came from 3 men.
Hold on, so how the Nuwapians, and I'm going to bring the brother's name up just for this point. If the brother hear his name, I don't want him to think it's no negativity on it.
Come on, we talk. Come on.
How the Nuwapians don't teach this doctrine? Because if they don't, they fool me. Because me and Prince York damn sure got into it over this specific, over what?
It is.
And that's the sun. of Malachi York.
And that means absolutely nothing to me. Prince York either was making a mistake or you're misrepresenting his views. One of the two. So what I'm telling you is, my point is this. Prince York has nothing to do with my point. My point is, you are accrediting this story to the Sumerians, not the Nuwapians. The Sumerian, I'm talking about the people who are responsible for the terminologies, the phraseologies that we're using. I'm not talking about the people who came way after.
If we want to go there, the Sumerians is not responsible for the terminologies or the phraseologies that we use, and the Caucasians are. Because every language on the motherfucking planet today, okay, every ancient language is predicated to have been manifested out of that goddamn Rosetta Stone. That is a motherfucking lie. So even when we say,
who's telling you these things?
We can do it. Listen, the Medu Ntr has not been deciphered. It's still up for the. It's still up for the.
The Medu Ntr has never been deciphered. Would you want to argue that point that every language was supposed to have come out of the Rosetta Stone?
So
that's why.
So listen, is the Rosetta Stone not the foundation? Okay.
I'm listening.
For religious texts in ancient language, is it not? Is it not? So is it not? So ancient languages are not said to have come from the hieroglyphics?
Maybe from scholars of today. I certainly don't agree with that. I'm willing to debate that.
So
now you willing to debate that?
Here we go. Because every dagger I throw, every point. Let's say for me, I ain't even gonna start it yet. Every point I throw is either I don't know where that comes from, or maybe not scholars to the scholars of today.
What you want me to do? You want me to lie to you? You asked me.
No, listen, I'm just saying.
I don't know where the hell you hearing this crazy information from, but I'm gonna tell you, anyone that deals with any study of philology will tell you in a heartbeat that the Medu Ntr is not the basis for where all the other languages come from, because there's languages that pre-exist the Medu Ntr.
No, we're speaking.
So hold on.
No. We're speaking on Samaria. So listen.
I was only speaking on Samaria because he was using Sumerian terminology.
Wait, no. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Listen.
Under the chances what we talking about. Listen.
Hold on.
All the languages like 3 times, and now you get ready to change it and say that you're not talking about all the languages.
Can we speak about Samaria as an ancient language, Inky? Goddamn, bro.
But you say all the languages. So this is you having it however you want to have it. And this is why I'm trying to get a good understanding of what you stand on.
Okay, now watch this. Since you wanna jump in my shit. What's the oldest ancient language?
Pause.
Hold on, what's the oldest ancient language, Inky?
Pharaoh. Listen. You gotta remember. Listen.
Hold on, you got everything to say. Answer my question. Pharaoh. Answer Pharaoh's question.
Listen.
What is the oldest ancient language, Inky?
Pharaoh. This is what I'm trying to explain.
No, Pharaoh, nothing.
No. What I'm trying to do is tell you that you're dealing with your senior.
Tell you.
Not take yourself off the hot seat because you're unwilling to stand on any one point.
Let's just get one person to talk real quick.
Listen, because I don't even know why you're here right now, truthfully. So that being said, either you gonna answer the question or let me work this out with Polight. Because when we speaking about ancient languages, what people gotta understand is they have an incorrect time calculation and actually how old Egypt is. So that being said, hold on, Polight. Let me pull my point to Egypt.
Okay.
So that being said, we still gotta work that out. We still gotta delegate that out. Because I'm not saying I'm right or Polight's right at this point in time. I'm talking to you. If it comes out that Egypt is actually thousands of years older than we thought, and that its ancient sacred text hasn't been deciphered, then any information allegedly gathered from that has to be thrown in the garbage. So that being said, we're talking about the oldest ancient language. Motherfucker, that doesn't even come from the source that you believe it does, because the source that you believe it does is actually thousands of years older than you think it is. So that being said, hold on, Inky. So that being said, let me talk to who the fuck I came over here to talk to. I didn't come over here to talk to you, bro. So if you keep stagnating energy, I'm gonna ask him to clip you off and let me do what I do. Now, Polight, please, if you can get your frame of thought back, come back to whatever you was saying, because I didn't forgot. Because I didn't have to talk to this nigga.
I'm with it. Somehow we wound up into the language conversation, and if all the ancient languages springboarded from the Medu Ntr, And you asked me, is that not the case? And I said, well, I certainly don't agree with that. You then went on to assert, and I'm going to paraphrase, well, you see, whenever I ask these questions, then all of a sudden people start saying this, that, and the other. I'm paraphrasing what you said. Then I went on to say, who are these other people you're talking about? This is the first time I've had this conversation with you. That's where I was going into that conversation with you. So for me, as you're talking to me, the person you're going to be debating, I wouldn't take the standpoint that all the ancient languages springboarded from the Medu Ntr, because if I came to that conclusion, then I may wind up saying things like you're saying, that the Medu Ntr hasn't been decoded. Well, because I know languages that pre-existed the Medu Ntr, that's why I can say, and those languages still being spoken today, and those languages haven't influenced the Medu Ntr, and also knowing that Champollion was taught the Medu Ntr by a Coptic, which means an Egyptian form of Christianity. That's where he learned it from, this Frenchman. I got the diaries of the damn Rosetta Stone guy, Champollion. This is damn diary.
I'm on that too.
Oh, I got his diary right here. So for all of us wanting to give credit to the white man for decoding the language, read his damn diary and realize a black man is the one that taught him how to read and decipher the damn Rosetta Stone, because he realized the language was similar to the language he speaks. So, I mean, if you still want to have the debate, my brother, we can set up a weigh-in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Hold on. We can do it next weekend if you want to do it. But what I'm telling you, brother, everybody else has their gifts and their talents in this community. I certainly don't take a debate that I know I'm going to lose. What I'm telling you is, there's no way in hell you're going to prove the decipher when the guy that helped the guy that got accredited for the deciphering helped him decipher it because the language was similar to the language he already spoke, which was Coptic. Now all we got to do is an ethnological.
I'm gonna crush you on it.
An ethnological, linguistic comparative of the Bantu languages that exist over there in Africa, in and around Egypt. We will even see that the same dialect has traveled from Kemet all the way to Ghana, as many people have the last name Amen. And no, that is not the only base for the answer, so let's not be ignorant. Oh, we found the word Amen over there. No, once we learn that in essence what philology is to people's eschatological and other theological corpuses, once we indulge in ethnological perusals of cultures, and once we indulge in linguistic comparatives, I will always have to ask you, what languages have you compared the Medu Ntr with for you to say that it was never deciphered? When you say a language was never deciphered that people are using, you are saying that no languages can come close to that language, and that language is unique and indifferent from everything on planet Earth. That assertion in itself is insane, because when you study language, you can see a paper trail of influence in what's called a dialect continuum. It's called a dialect continuum. You will always see where the languages undergo harmonious morphological conks. It's when they may take vowels out and replace them with a consonant, or keep the vowels in and replace one of the consonants.
I like that.
How etymological perusals take place. This is what harmonious morphological cooks are. This is why we suggest that people do an ethnological, linguistic, comparative study, particularly in this case, of Bantu languages stemming from West Africa going east, and in some instances east going west after the influence has already taken place. Now, again, when you say the Medu Ntr has not been deciphered, you are saying that there is no other language on planet Earth that can come remotely close to that language, and those people are isolated from the rest of the world, which we know is not true when we talk about ancient Egypt. You're saying those people in ancient Egypt, as much cultural diffusion took place, that they still wind up after thousands of years to have a language separate and different from everybody else on planet Earth. Can
I jump in now? Now listen, let me prove my premises now.
Listen,
I'm ready. Let me ask you a question now. Okay, now let me hold on, because I got the sniper on you. You don't even know. You ran outside with your shotgun, And I got the sniper. Now listen to this, because you done ran into this right here. You know what I mean? You threw the hook, I slipped. Now here comes the Tyson rap. Here we go. So the Medu Ntr has been deciphered. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, now let me kill you. Bang. Here we go. So, according to the alleged successful decipherment of the Medu Ntr comes the story of Khufu, right? Not only Khufu, but his son Khafre. Now, according to the alleged deciphered text, Khufu and his son Khafre built today what is known as the pyramid and the Sphinx. Now, why is this important? Because the pyramid and the Sphinx is a minimum of 20,000 years older than them motherfuckers. So if the Medu Ntr was successfully deciphered, why does the alleged translated stories not match the age of the structures that they was allegedly deciphered on? Now, hold on. I'm not done. Hold on. I'm not done now.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
I'm not done now. Hold on. I'm not done. So if it was deciphered, that's like if I spray paint on my motherfucking wall, okay, and somebody comes say, man, this shit say 0. Motherfucker, if I did the spray paint last week and this house is 50 years old, how the fuck did you successfully translate the alleged story of the builder of the house when the spray paint on the house is 50 years newer than the goddamn foundation? So when we say the Medu Ntr's been deciphered, that's cute, but why the fuck don't the stories match the age of the temples of the people who allegedly wrote them?
Let me ask you a question. In scholarship, the problem you're having is called an anachronism. An anachronism is when you misappropriate dates with times to either suit an agenda or just by mere error in itself, and other people adopt the error and propagate the misinformation. You are not having a problem with the language, you're having a problem with an anachronism, which is a misappropriation of date with time.
So you know that's a lie. Hold the story true.
Stop, real quick. Stop. Let me ask you a question. When someone becomes popular, do people name their children after that same popular person?
I mean, they might. Shit, I don't know. I mean,
Okay, let's do it like this. Is there only one Muhammad on planet Earth right now?
No.
Is there only one Michael, or is Michael a very popular word?
I mean, I would have to say yes. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, guess what? Khufu did big things, and so did Khafre. Is it possible that 20,000 years later, someone could have named someone after the pioneers of the community?
That would be possible if the fucking story didn't say that they the ones who built it. Because I'm gonna hit you with this gas. What you were saying would be true if they didn't fictitiously present mummified remains. They grab them like that. Hold on, let me go. I'm hot right now. The motherfucking Pharaoh about to jump off this goddamn motherfucking